What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another fun-filled edition of the PlayStation Drive. This is going to be the 55th ride. My name is Matt. I'll be your host for this wonderful afternoon's event. I'm joined, as always, by Captain Canada himself, Mr. Courtline. Court, how's it going, my friend? How you doing?
It's good. It's good. How are you? I realized I haven't put it in the Discord that we're live. Yeah, that's on me.
It's okay. They know in their hearts, Court. They feel it because if they are subscribed to us over here on youtube.com/carpool gaming, and if they have the notification bell clicked, they're gonna know we're live because YouTube is gonna let them know. Which, if you're not, please do that now.
These are facts, but I'm just I gotta do the thing with the thing and the other thing.
The thing's gotta happen with the things. It's okay. Yeah. We've got all the things thinged. If you're listening to us over on any podcast network of your choosing, please hit us with that 5 stars. Leave us a review. It helps us grow and become even bigger and better and helps us make even more cool stuff. If you have any extra dollars that you would like to help us get even better, head over to patreon.com/carpoolgaming, or if you toss a buck in the tip jar, a bunch of content comes out. There is so much fantastic stuff and even more coming. As always, thank you for all your continued support, and we're going to get bigger and better, Court, because you know how it be. Right?
I know, but I'm like listening. Maybe my mind's just in a bad place, but I'm listening to what you just said about like you use words, and we could talk later, but wow, those sentences can be misconstrued. Stuff coming out, and yeah.
Well, I mean, that's how we do here at the PlayStation Drive. Subtle innuendos.
Yeah, seriously.
So let's get into it, dude, because it's been a minute since we've done this together. I'm excited. I'm happy to be back. It's been a couple weeks, but we're going to get into it because we have a ton of stuff. We got a jam-packed show full of news about PlayStation Plus, about Final Fantasy, about Capcom. There's a whole lot going on, and I'm amped to get into it. So without further ado, let's pop an 8-track into that little old cassette tape and check in on the playlist, my friend. What have you been playing? What's been going on?
I've been playing PlayStation Plus.
Yes. What kind?
And then, I played some classic games. Nice. I played some PlayStation 3 games. I played some PlayStation 4 games. I started Death Stranding. I was a little bit of both. So I tried Siphon Filter. I tried Ape Escape.
Mm-hmm.
I played about 4 hours of Infamous.
Okay.
Through the cloud. I'll get mine when we get to the whole what's going on with it. I'll go there. But and then I started playing Death Stranding, the as I would like to call it, as someone that his wife used to work in the shipping and industry, the UPS simulator so far. So
okay, well, before we get into like the nitty gritty of like stream details and whatever, hit me with your thoughts and feelings about the games that you've played so far. How is it returning to some of these games? I know you love Infamous a lot. How does it feel like getting back to that? How's UPS? Tell me thoughts and feelings.
I wish Infamous had the glow ups.
Mm-hmm.
It felt. You know what? PlayStation 1 games felt old.
Yep.
I'm gonna compare them to your kids are cute. So like PlayStation, NES and Super Nintendo. That's the cute little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then that PlayStation 1, GameCube, Xbox original generation. That's the awkward kid in high school with the zits and it just doesn't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go to university and we've got like the PlayStation 2 and then the PlayStation 3 and the games hold up. But for some reason, I'm having a really hard time playing those PlayStation 1 games.
Dude, I'm with
controls. You. Woof, 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 woof.
I have never played Siphon Filter before, so I was like, so to give you a bit of a sneak peek into my playlist, I did jump into that as well. And man, oh man, I was getting like legit motion sick at some point with how like quick everything was moving and how like the camera was just flying around the character. I really wish they took like the extra couple steps to like, make that camera actually controllable with your with the second stick.
The amount of times I touched it is
yeah, I know, me too. I was just like, I can't look that way. So like I didn't even make it through the first level, I think, before I was like, I'm good with this for now. I'll come back to it. I understand why people are excited about this, but I don't have that nostalgia piece when it comes to some of these PS1 games. And man, yeah, rough times a little bit, my dude.
Yeah, it made me want more Siphon Filter, 100%. And don't get me wrong, I want to make sure everybody. I definitely played MLB The Show. I was literally playing it right before we started this. I've cut it down to 1 hour a day instead of my usual 3 because I'm trying to play other games.
Proud of you.
I also jumped into Kingdoms of Amalur.
Okay.
I think I'm not gonna. I think I'm in. I think I've been drawn into a game for the first time in a long time, and I think I'm gonna continue playing that.
Nice.
That was a PS Plus game not too while, but a couple months ago. And I don't understand the gripe. I love that game when it came out originally, and people were dunking on it for some reason. They came back out, and I don't get it. Yet I also see people loving Siphon Filter. So
To each
I
their
do
own.
want another. Yeah, to each their own. I do think the PlayStation 3 games, Infamous, I'm gonna finish it. I have no problem. I will say this, and this is a weird thing that continues to bug me about PlayStation games. I need quick resume, and I need it now. I don't need it tomorrow. I need it today.
Yeah.
I have a hard time. I need it. It's just I need it. You know what, Shuhei, please give us quick resume.
Yeah, especially with the PS3 stream titles, which like very quickly tell you, "Hey, you're not touching your controller. You better do something right now." There's some kinks to be worked out with this service so far. I am really enjoying it. So for myself, I've become obsessed with Resident Evil 4 again. Playing it similarly through the PS3 streaming. I've had like little to no issues. If there is latency, I can't tell, which, could be because this is a GameCube game being played on, that was, up-res to PS3 and now is playing through streaming. But I haven't noticed any issues with it. I've been having a great time revisiting that game because I haven't played it since it originally came out. The hype around the remake kind of got the juices flowing, and it got me excited a little bit again. Especially, so I started streaming it again. It was cool. I was finally happy to do this with PlayStation. I actually started it here through the PlayStation Plus app, streaming it on my computer. Got to a save point, shut it down, went downstairs, booted up the PS5, picked up from where I left off and kept going, which was beautiful. It was seamless for the first time and I think in the PS5 existence, there wasn't like where's my save file? Hold on, I have to re-download this here. It just worked, which was nice. And I guess, that's one benefit of the stream library that, again, so far I've really enjoyed. I've had no technical issues at all. Also jumped into Infamous. I played about an hour. Feels great. Again, I wish it got that kind of, cleaning up because it does look a little dated, which, I mean, granted, it is an older game. But, the feel of the game is, holds up surprisingly well. And I'm excited to keep going with it. And then very quickly, I picked up Neon White this morning, which is not on PlayStation. But if you like the super hot Ghost Runner, make it to the end very quickly style game, that game is cool as hell. It has such a personality to it. It's almost like a Persona meets a Ghost Runner meets a super hot. It's so stylish. It's a lot of fun. If you're curious, it just came out, so go check that out.
I also played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with my daughter last night. I totally forgot about that. Technically, sorry, it wasn't on my PlayStation, but it's on Game Pass.
Yep.
I played an hour and a half, and my 5-year-old with myself, we got through 2 bosses.
Yes, dude.
I'm very.
Who are the characters? Who are the characters?
She was April O'Neil.
Nice.
And I was, as always, Michelangelo, my favorite turtle. Shocker, I know.
What?
Yeah, I know. But she was she wanted April O'Neil because it is a female character, so she wanted it. But her second choice, she even told me, was Donatello because he's cute in purple.
I understand that. That's a good vibe. Yeah, I also jumped into it as well. I played just the first level so far. Destiny and I are planning on playing a good chunk of it together. So I jumped in just to, get a feel for it and see how it was playing. Loving it so far. The animations, the sound effects, everything about it is awesome. I obviously went with my man Leo because, shocker, I had to be Leonardo.
You're definitely a Leo.
Yeah, right? So yeah, I've been really enjoying it. It's just the animations are so slick. The combat feels so good. Everything about that game just feels great.
Now, if Ryan plays it and he's not Donatello, it's going to be weird.
I know.
And Sean probably wants to be a Leo, but we all know he's a Raph.
Listen, we all know he's a Shredder. Not a Shredder, sorry. He's a Splinter. Sorry. A Splinter is what I meant to say. He's
He's Splinter, yeah?
Yeah, maybe. But,
But what I say for this, that even gets me back to, look at games from the Super Nintendo era can come back out, graphically wise. This is definitely a better game than what we got in the Super Nintendo era, but the graphics can come back and look that way, and we're still like, that looks awesome.
That
looks cute.
Fantastic.
NES, 8-bit, 16-bit, all day long. But that N64, PlayStation 1, yeah, it's an ugly kid.
Yep.
The games are ugly.
Yep, we love them.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, Xbox 360 era came back and we're like, we're in. PlayStation 3, even though it was PlayStation 3, I didn't mind Infamous. All it did would make me want a better I wanted a more sexy version.
Yeah, I know. I feel you. I understand. I agree. Yeah, so we've been playing a whole bunch. This service has been great, and we're going to get into it in just a little bit. But let's first touch on what happened with Capcom this week, because they had their they had their showcase. We got some cool PlayStation announcements, one of which was PS5 versions of Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 3 are all already out. They can be played, and I'm excited to actually hop into this. So what I did is I actually hopped over to the good old Mississauga library system and rented a copy of Resident Evil 2. I'm not the biggest Resident Evil fan. I like pieces and parts, and everybody keeps telling me how fantastic 2 is. With the free PS5 upgrade, I'm picking it up at the library. I'm going to pick it up at the library later today.
Okay, I just those it's really funny. As Xbox came out with smart delivery and quick resume, we're all like, what are these? I'm very curious to know, because I saw a lot of people saying how easily right away they were like, well, I'll just turn it on my Xbox and I'll automatically be there. Mm-hmm. I haven't had that big of an issue upgrading games. Save files different. That's sometimes they just, like Avengers was just like, huh? Yeah. But I'm very interested to know how seamless these games are.
Yeah.
Because I'm already seeing stuff on the internet with PlayStation Plus and any of these games that some of these games were originally PlayStation Plus games. Mm-hmm. Now, there is an issue with the PlayStation that when a game was originally a PlayStation Plus game and you claimed it, regardless on what console, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, it doesn't let you download newer versions or play the version that is on PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus, sorry, the new one.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they fix that. But I've already seen that with Resident Evil. I think it's 2. It was a PlayStation Plus game once. And it's causing an issue with some people if they've claimed it.
Yeah, I know it can be confusing on that side, and that's what I mean. This launch has been solid. There's definitely some stuff to work out, but I'm excited to hop into Resident Evil 2. I'll probably jump into it this weekend. I'm glad that these upgrades are free. I'm glad we're not being hit with the $10 fee. I know that's usually PlayStation first party stuff.
Kev, RE7 does not give you the free upgrade.
There you go. Yep. So that's what I mean. There are issues here that need to be figured out. Like, granted, that's not specific to PlayStation Plus. I think this is just an issue with the way that these games are. I don't know if RE7 was ever a PlayStation Plus game.
No, but it's a series. It's a Game Pass game in it.
Oh, okay. So it's on the service. If you claimed it on the service, then you run into issues. I see. So they want you to buy it. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you to buy it so that way you can get the upgrade. So that's...
No, you can't. No, the issue with the licensing is, it's a totally different thing from what you're speaking.
Okay.
Even if you try and buy the game, it doesn't let you.
So, really?
So perfect example is Siphon Filter was also a free game on the PlayStation Plus when the PlayStation 3. So it was one of the very first PlayStation Plus games.
Okay.
One of the very first that they gave away. If you claimed it then, and which I thank God I didn't. Because I was like, why am I claiming this old game? I used to not claim the classic games. So if you claimed it then, you can't play it on the service now.
Okay, I see what you mean.
There's an issue. They're trying to fix it.
Yep.
But it's 100% a bing, ding, 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 ding issue that, and I know this has happened before. If a game becomes free after the fact, like when it came to the PlayStation Plus collection, if it was already in PlayStation Plus, you can't get it free forever. Like there are issues.
Right.
But they're going to get around it. I'll say this is still a better launch than the original Game Pass.
Yep. I think this has been solid. Yeah, obviously there are some things that need to be worked out, but are you a Resident Evil person at all, Court? Are you gonna check out any of these PS5 upgraded editions?
So Resident Evil 7 is in the PlayStation Plus. It was in when you bought the PS5.
The PS5 collection. That's what it was.
So that is where the issue is coming, how you can't upgrade it. So I'm actually correct, and Kevin's like confirming my correctness. This is impressive.
Thanks, Kev.
It's very rare. I loved Resident Evil 2.
Okay.
3. 7 scared the bejesus out of me.
Yeah.
I haven't played The Village. I'll play them, but I'll play them when they're on the services.
Fair.
I don't go out of there and play them right away. Mind you, that's different between space horror. So Prey.
Dead Space.
Mm-hmm. Right up my alley. Callisto Protocol. Oh my God, am I anticipating this game? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the other type of horror games, like, I'll take it or leave it. I'll play them. Yeah. I have nothing against them. I think Resident Evil as a series was great. I think their new thing is more horror than it is story. I don't know. I like the originals.
Fair, yeah.
It's just me.
Would you check out the remakes of 2 and 3? But I guess you said you'll wait till it comes to the service because that's kind of the place to play them. Yeah, that was my thing with Resident Evil 2. That's why I libraried it, because our library system is actually dope and we have all these things available to us there. So I was like, you know what? I'll get it to the library. I heard it's a shorter game anyway. I'll take it that way and see what happens. Yeah. The next major Capcom announcement that we got from the showcase was that Resident Evil Village DLC's winter expansion launches October 28th. It includes a playable Lady D in Mercenaries mode, third-person mode for the main campaign, and story DLC for called Shadows of Rose, where you're going to be playing as Ethan's daughter and her weird abilities and stuff. Again, I know a lot of people are anticipating this a lot. I know a lot of people really enjoyed Resident Evil Village. I put a couple hours into it, and I intend to go back. Now I'm kind of at a crossroads where it's like, do I wait for the PSVR 2 and play it that way and really terrify myself? Right?
Yeah, I would go for the really terrify. I honestly would.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people are excited about this. Does the third person mode do anything for your Court? Like, does that make you more or less likely to play the game? Do you have like a preference when it comes to these types of horror games in terms of first or third person?
I actually have a preference when it comes to video games, period. I like third person over first person 9 times out of 10.
Okay.
Some people say it ruins the immersion sometimes with games. I don't get that feeling. I really enjoy third person view. I actually feel it gives me more. Mm-hmm. I have no immersion tendencies. I have no inkling to run and play Village yet. It's not even in my backlog of my brain. Mm-hmm. I get it. People love the game. That's fine. It's just I don't think it's for me. I played 7. I didn't finish it. Mm-hmm. So I don't see a point in getting to 8. Yeah. But I would love to play it in VR just to see what it's like and how scared I get.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I probably will just wait and do the whole DLC and PSVR 2 thing in one go. But yeah, I'm excited that it's coming. It's coming, October 28th, so it's not that far away. I'm sure people are hyped. Now, Court, before we get into everything Square Enix, everything Final Fantasy, PlayStation Plus is finally out. We have the 3 new tiers. We have Essential, which was, the classic PlayStation Plus. We got our Extra, which includes all the PS4 and PS5 stuff. And we have Premium, which is where we're sitting at, which gives you also the classics and the game trials. We've had it for about 5 days now. Let's go with almost a week. We've both been messing with it. Give me your thoughts and feelings. Do you think it's worth it at this time? Is it good? Should people be jumping in to the all-new PlayStation Plus?
Better launch than Game Pass. I said that previously. Mm-hmm. A lot better. There's more to offer. Do I think the full-blown, do you need those PlayStation Classics? No. That's just my opinion. I was playing them. There's a list now that's out of the games that aren't there. Mm-hmm. I have a funny feeling. We'll talk about that. I have a funny feeling that's that so that they can be like, here's the new game that keeps hitting each month. Because otherwise they're not going to have much to throw out there. I thought compared to when I used the PlayStation Now service, which was like 2-3 years ago, I'll be honest, I had no latency issues. I do have very good internet at home, but I didn't find any issues with playing the PlayStation 3 games. I have a strong problem when they have a game on there that has a PS5 version and they only give you the PS4 version. I think that is a major misstep. Mm-hmm. It confuses the heck out of me. But do I think the service is a good value for the money? Yes. We always, as gamers, always look at, and the people that are core gamers are like, hey, well, I've already played all these games. There is a larger population, and I would almost say 60% of the people that haven't. Mm-hmm. So when they get these services, they're going to step into God of Wars and the Spider-Mans and such. It still should be the PS5 version. It doesn't make any sense. And you have your Miles Morales and all these great, phenomenal games that they can go in and play for the very first time. So I think there's a ton of value there because the PlayStation first-party library is bar none the best first-party library in gaming. Sorry, Nintendo.
I agree.
I get it. Some people will say differently because of Mario and Zelda, but I still think PlayStation's first-party lineup, especially on how much they bring out, is better, bar none. But that's just my opinion. So I think the value's there. I think the service can only get better, mm-hmm. but I do have my issues with it.
Yeah, I'm with you so far. I think it is a really solid launch. I do think it's unfortunate, like we'll get to with the question a little bit later, that there are as many games missing that there were already on the service or, should be there day one. I think right now I have a harder time recommending premium versus extra.
Correct.
I think extra is a really easy buy-in with the collection that you get across PS4 and PS5. Like you mentioned, outside of the PS5 games that are missing 4 PS4 versions, like that's just a weird, confusing thing. I think it's a really solid start. I think that they have a lot here across third party, a lot across first party, a lot across different genres between RPGs and shooters and sports games. They have a lot here that's easy to buy into. The premium tier, I think, is where it gets a little bit sticky. I think the game trials are not as much of a thing as maybe Sony thought that they would be. I don't really see a ton of value there. I think where it starts to get, is it worth it for you or not? It just really depends on how much you want to get into those classic games. Because like you said, the PS1 and PS2 library, is very small right now. There isn't a lot there that's really going to grab you and keep you in it, right? Like they're missing a bunch of stuff. There isn't a lot there.
Nostalgia.
And it's like, and it doesn't feel that great to revisit some of these older titles. Like I don't think the work's been done enough to make these games properly accessible and exciting to play in 2022. The PS3 library, I think, is kind of the selling feature if you have decent internet, right? If you can stream these games and you're going to enjoy revisiting some of them, like I said, Resident Evil and Infamous for me is like 2 massive reasons to hop back in. I think that that's where the value starts to kind of show up a little bit more at this point in time. I do think premium will get better and better as we go, as they add in more of these classic titles, as they hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, figure out the PS3 streaming issue and let you download the game so that people can, play these even if they don't have the best internet. So I think there is value here. I think it's a solid, strong launch, especially for the people that managed to get that exploit. Like, myself, I have now a premium until the end of next year, I think, because I bought a bit of PlayStation Now and then it like rolled into all together and I got the kind of, the later PlayStation Plus that I already had. So for those people, it's an easy in at this point in time. New people to the service, I would say extra's an easy sell. Premium is a little bit more of a wait and see.
Yeah, and it's funny when they announced the tiers, we're all like, "What are you doing?" And now I actually understand the tiers because now you can look at a value proposition. It's to each. Like I said before, the people that play video games all the time and we're in the zeitgeist and we know what's going on. You know what? Get what you think is good for you, but exactly. I think the first tier is where you need to be. Like we've played all the games.
Yep.
If you haven't played video games or the only thing you're playing is bro shooters and you're playing sports games, then whatever tier you buy is the value for you. I think there's a value in each tier for each individual person as a gamer. I have many friends in my generation that they have Game Pass, they have an Xbox, they have Game Pass, they have PlayStation, and they have PlayStation Plus just so they can play online. And if I said to them, "Hey, here's all the games," and they haven't played the God of Wars, and I believe it or not, I know people that are listening. Those people, there's more of those people that exist than the people that have. So they get into this, and I even have a friend who just got back from a long trip, and I was like explaining PlayStation Plus. He's like, "You know what? I'm gonna try it out," and he's already like, "Oh, dude, this Miles Morales game." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Like,
right?
It's just they only buy FIFA and Call of Duty every year, and there's so many of those people.
Yep.
They buy Grand Theft Auto when it comes out. They buy Call of Duty. They buy the specific games that they've been playing, and they don't venture into anything new. So there is always value to somebody else. Do I think they're going to get more subscribers out of this and have a bigger subscriber count and it will grow? Yes, because we all know services work. A service where you say, here's a library of something, it always works. It's Netflix. It just always works. For me, moving forward, I don't think I need the premium tier. I don't.
Okay. Which is fair.
It's just the way it is.
Which is totally fair. And I mean, like I said, for me, it's going to be a wait and see to see how this collection continues to grow over the next year and a half. But I do think this is a great start. I do think there's a lot to love here. And I do think that they will hopefully continue to grow it meaningfully so that it does really...
Jordan, you know exactly what I mean when a bro shooter is. Please don't. Don't.
He knows. He knows for sure. All right, let's get into a bit of other news. Let's hop over to some Square Enix stuff. We had our Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary stream yesterday where we got a whole bunch of incredibly exciting announcements. There's so much cool stuff coming from IGN. This is written by Casey David Muir-Taylor. Final Fantasy Remake Part 2 comes out next winter. Square Enix has revealed the first trailer for Final Fantasy Remake Part 2, and it is officially called Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Revealed during Square Enix's 25th anniversary event for the original Final Fantasy VII, The second part in the company's multi-part series will release next winter in 2023. We also did get confirmation that this will be in 3 parts. So Rebirth will be the second out of the 3 in the trilogy. And we did get an announcement that it's coming next winter. We saw some gameplay. We saw Cloud walking around with Sephiroth. We got some cool voiceover that I think was Aerith, but some people are saying Tifa, so I don't really know who it was after all, talking about possibly dying or not. I am so stoked about this. I cannot wait. I am so incredibly excited. I had to rock the Final Fantasy 14 shirt today because of all the Final Fantasy news. Court, thoughts and feelings. Where are you at on this?
I played Final Fantasy on the PlayStation 1.
Nice.
And I tried it when it hit Game Pass. I don't know, man. Turn-based games. They never do it for me. But that's not to say I didn't in the past. Ryan has got me intrigued to get back into Final Fantasy. I spent many a moment this weekend talking to Ryan, and he spoke a lot about Final Fantasy, and he's got me intrigued to get back into them. Because I did Final Fantasy VII. My brother and I played that so much that the disc broke, then we had to get it again because that's back in the day. CD-ROMs when they first came out, they would get mangled very easily, and we played it so much that the laser on the PlayStation didn't read it anymore. So we had to buy the game again. So I think I might get back into it. Especially, you seem excited. This is very the last 2 days, the Final Fantasy and the Capcom thing. I literally was like, Ryan and Matt just must be in their heyday right now.
I was ecstatic, but dude, that's the beautiful thing about Remake. It's not turn-based, right? It's action, so it's more.
Well, no, the remake. I tried the remake.
Okay,
I love the remake. Final Fantasy VII to me is in a top 10 game of all time. It is the quintessential. This is how you make a video game fun.
Yep.
Regardless of all the things. Like I said, I played a lot of Final Fantasy VII. I played remake. I love it. I just didn't like the last one that was on Game Pass and it was also PlayStation Plus. The one where you're in the car a lot.
Final Fantasy 15. I actually really like that one, but yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't care anymore. Yeah. I just didn't care anymore.
I'm really, really incredibly excited for this. I love that they seem to be going in a bit of a weirder, different direction. I love that this isn't a straight 1-to-1. Here's Final Fantasy VII again. Like, if you're going to do this, if you're going to revisit what a lot of people do consider one of the greatest JRPGs of all time, one of the greatest games of all time, I'm glad that they're getting weird with it. I'm glad that they're making changes. I'm glad that they're letting the original be the original while letting this be something new and something fun and something exciting. Especially because we're entering an era now where there is a Final Fantasy VII connected universe. Because the next announcement that we got. Well, technically this was before, but also coming from IGN, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion announced for this winter, written by Rebecca Valentine. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII is really real, with Zack back in all his glory. Announced that it's coming this winter. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion is planned for release on Xbox Series X and S, PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC sometime this winter. This is a prequel to the original Final Fantasy VII and came out on PSP in the West in 2008. Dude, I literally just re-downloaded this for my Steam Deck to give it a first go because I have so many friends who keep talking about this. And now there's a new version! Court!
But how funny is it that this game is the one that's coming to Xbox, yet the remake hasn't? I still I'm at the point, and I'm part of the problem when I don't care about console exclusives. I'll just play it on whatever console. But the discourse that I've seen, I made a joke on our social media this morning about it. I don't understand what? Who cares? I get it. If it's not on Xbox, you know what? There's games that are on Xbox that are not on PlayStation.
Yep.
And it's almost everything we just learned last weekend. Guess what? Games that you thought were only going to be on PlayStation, well, not no more. You know what? Atlas just was like, hey, by the way, they're all on Xbox now. So it is what it is. It's great that PlayStation. Someone said to me the other day, it was actually at the Xbox event on the weekend, and they said, well, Final Fantasy is it's a PlayStation game. It's where it started. I was like, well, actually, no, it's a Nintendo game. Yep. But hey, if you who cares what it is? I just like playing it. Wherever it's played, it's great. I think it's great that Xbox people are going to get to play Crisis Core 2. I think that's fantastic. Am I just wanting the rest of the remake games? Yes, that's all I want. I just want the rest of the remake games. Just give me the rest of them. This parts and taking so long to give me the games. That's my biggest gripe about Square Enix. It's like, here's this game that looks great. Maybe 7 years from now, I might play it.
The thing is, though, is they have been better in recent years. They have been like, they have been though. Ever since Remake came out, they've been more consistent. I mean, we're getting Crisis Core this year, Rebirth next year. I feel like they're starting. I feel like they heard the criticism, and I'm hoping that they're working on themselves in a way that these games.
When's the next
hit.
Kingdom Hearts?
I would guess next year or the year after. I think it's coming.
Yeah, but is it going to be like when they released the last Kingdom Hearts and we were like, well, this looks like a PlayStation 4 game?
No, I think this is legit going to be like, I think Kingdom Hearts 4 is actually going to be a great step. They're already talking about like Persona-like social features. Dude, they have me. But,
all right. Yeah, they'll have you no matter what. It's okay. Like they have you no matter what.
Yeah, like Crisis Core again is one that I've missed. I am going to play the original before we get we get Reunion. I'm super excited about this. So much Final Fantasy VII coming, so much all the time, and I can't wait for all of it. This winter, Crisis Core. Next winter, Rebirth. And I'm gonna guess probably 2 years after that, we're gonna get whatever the last one is, which is probably going to be another something. I'll come back.
And then the next generation, they'll be like, we'll just bring them all out again.
Yes.
You'll buy them.
Exactly. And I will every time because they got me. The next story that we're going to touch on, which I know will have a lot of people really excited, coming from IGN, Dragon's Dogma 2 officially in development and it's being built on the RE engine. Written by Adam
is
Bankhurst.
a Matt week.
You would be shocked about this one. Capcom has officially announced Dragon's Dogma 2, a sequel to the 2012 action RPG. It was revealed at the 10-year Dragon's Dogma live stream, which, funny enough, at the Capcom showcase, they announced the live stream and then announced the game that a lot of people wanted to see at the showcase in a separate live stream. I don't know why they did things like that, but they did it.
Wasn't the guy just wearing like a t-shirt or something?
He literally was like, yeah, please be excited. We have another stream coming later this week. Bye. I've actually never played the original Dragon's Dogma. Surprisingly enough, that's why. Like, I understand why people are excited about it, but again, all the hype has got me, dude, because the original is on sale for like $6 on PlayStation right now. I picked it up, gonna play that as well because from what I'm hearing, it's a fantastic fantasy RPG. So I'm excited to get into it. But I'm happy that this game exists for a lot of people who have been asking for it for a very, very, very long time. Court?
Yeah, I saw Garrett and Ryan. I was specifically sitting beside Ryan at the Xbox showcase when they announced Persona, and like if you heard his scream, so I just can imagine the Capcom one goes off and screams happen over again, and then they announce Dragon Dogma and screams happen again, and then the Final Fantasy thing. It has been a Ryan and Matt week, but I'm still all hyped still over September when I get to play The Last of Us again. Mm-hmm. So that's like that's the one of the things I love about video games and like PlayStation and all the consoles is because there's always something for everyone. Like this week of news, yeah, I didn't watch any of these conferences. I read the articles so I could keep up with it. Mm-hmm. Am I going to play any of these games? No. I'm not going to play any of them.
And that's fine.
Unless I have to, sure. But Dragon's Dogma 2, didn't even know it was a thing.
Yep, there you go. Well, I'm happy to be the one to deliver the news to you, Court. Again, I haven't played it yet either, but yeah, so before we get into the carpool and we get into some questions, I very quickly have to pop off about Persona because I didn't get to do it last week, but oh my god, it's coming back! Persona 3, 4, and 5, Portable, Golden, and Royal are all coming back to PS4 and PS5. I'm going to be buying all of these things all over again. Very quickly, Atlas, just give us a special edition. Just give us, I don't care if it's on Game Pass, I'm going to buy all of these all over again. Just let me.
Crazy as it sounds, I finished Golden on the Vita.
I'm so proud of you, Court.
It's the only Persona game that I actually liked because I tried the last one and then I couldn't even get out of the city. Like I was just like, nope. Like this is too much for me. Mm-hmm. But I think for the Vita, it was almost just like I was traveling a lot of the time for work. And it was just so easy to play on the plane. Mm-hmm. So I'd just be on the plane and I'd play the game and over again. And I'd be traveling and boom, I'm playing it. And then when I get where I'm going, I'm like, it wasn't back then. You couldn't you're not bringing a console with you somewhere.
Yeah.
So the Vita was like the greatest thing ever. And that game was the game that I played the most on the PlayStation Vita. So when it comes back, I want to play it again.
Yes.
I want to play it on console. Because It's only been on, to my knowledge, it's Vita and PC. Is the only ever it's been released on. It's never been released on console.
Golden has never been, no. Yeah,
Yes, Golden. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That's only ever been on Steam and on the Vita. So yes, those are all coming back. They're coming to PS4 and PS5 alongside all the Xbox stuff. Curious to see if it's going to end up on extra or premium. Curious to see how all that's going to roll out. But regardless,
I don't think when it's coming to Game Pass, I don't think so.
I know, that's what I mean. I'm curious to see how this is going to fall out. There are also
the Final Fantasy. PlayStation's done the Final Fantasy dump trunk, and Xbox is like, we've heard you complain over and over and over and over and over. It was like when Phil Spencer came on the screen, he pretty much said, I've heard you guys complain forever.
Yep.
Like, you're getting what you want. We put a lot of money into this. You're getting it. Finally. Stop complaining.
Finally. All right, my dude. We have one more quick news story that we're going to touch on before we get into the carpool. Because you like rumors. I like rumors. Let's get a little rumory. This is coming from PlayStationLifestyle.net. PS5 Pro controller coming according to rumor. Sony is purportedly releasing a PS5 Pro controller at some point in the near future.
Soon.
Allegedly,
Very soon, supposedly.
The controller may be revealed in the upcoming weeks, along with several other new pieces of hardware. The game
and God of War release date is the rumor.
That is the rumor. It seems like it's going to be coming with trigger stops, rear paddles like the Elite controller, and removable analog stick units. Court, A, do you think this is real? B, obvious. Yes. Okay. Are you excited about it? Are you going to pick this up? Where are your thoughts and feelings?
Yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. For many years, PlayStation's always let third parties do this. I think with money talks, and Elite controller at Xbox sells extremely well. And I've said this a million times. I think the DualSense is the best next-gen controller, but I think the Elite controller is a better gaming controller.
Okay.
I think the what the DualSense, the feel, and everything that it does is amazing. But I would wish, if I was playing on my PC, I would only use my Halo Elite. I love the being able to change the triggers and such for certain games. I love that aspect, the customization, the changing. Like when I'm playing sports games, I will raise the right stick. So that it's because you can change the sticks very easily and it's all magnetic. You just pull them out. And the rumor is that's the same. Like we're getting all the same in the soon to be Pro controller for Pro DualSense, I guess it'll be. DualSense Pro. There you go. There's the name. It sounds like something PlayStation would call it. If we get that, I won't even think twice. And that will be the go-to controller. And I think it would be the go-to controller for PC players because as of right now, the DualSense works on PC, works on iPad, for God's sakes. If you can get that Pro controller...
But do you want to know the funniest thing right now, though? The DualSense works with the PC, but it does not work with PlayStation Plus on the PC.
I heard.
Which is mind-boggling that I have to use a PS4 controller when I'm playing on PC. But yeah, this for me, surprisingly enough, is a bit of a wait and see. I've never really been like in the kind of Pro controller market. I just I look at the back paddles and I look at everything. I'm like, I don't really personally see a use case for it. No, and that's what I mean. I've always looked at them and I was just kind of like, I don't get it. I think it might be one of those things that like until I actually use one and possibly remap stuff to the paddles, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You'll see.
And that's this for me has me excited. I'm glad that they're seemingly going to be, making their way into this market because I do think a lot of people would buy it day one. I think for me, like I'd probably buy one and see how I really feel about it because I'm assuming these things are going to be decent, like pretty expensive. With like
the Xbox is $200, right?
Yeah.
Plus. So like one thing I'll say is someone yourself who streams on Twitch a lot and you're a content creator, I have a setting on my Elite controller just for content creation so that I can easily do game clip or video, and then I even have like changing the video sex. So like if I'm playing when you're playing a game like Halo, remapping the controller is unbelievable, and it just makes ease of use, and it's just great, especially with making the triggers so you can barely have to touch them to shoot. Like it's just like, and you're shooting so amazingly. But it's the recording of video and screen sharing and all that it's like so easily in the paddles. You're just playing like boom. Boom, and you never have to leave what you're doing, and you get it's so good for content creation. As someone that I know you stream and you do a lot of content creation, I don't think you have a choice but not to get one. Yeah, if they bring one out.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I definitely do feel like it's going to be one of those things like that. Once I actually start using it, then I'll understand. But for me, like I'm a wait and see on it. I'm curious to see once they actually avail.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it's not PlayStation who makes it. And it's someone like Scuff that makes, like, I know Scuff has one, but I mean, like, here's the PlayStation one we've worked on with someone. It doesn't, Sony making it themselves is something they've never done. But, you know, they made a Vita once. They made PlayStation VR, so maybe they're just like, hey, we like money, we want more of it.
Yeah. So
people will buy this.
I'm really curious to see if this is imminent alongside if we get God of War Ragnarok's release date soon and stuff. But we'll talk about that.
11/11.
Dude,
it is happening.
11/11.
Corey Barlog, see his tweet?
But,
did you see his tweet?
But I did see the tweet. But did you see the clothing leaks that apparently the God of War Ragnarok clothing is launching in October?
Yes, but originally, if you remember, the first leak was this game. There was a post of the game coming out in September.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're seeing the clothing, because the original marketing leaks were the game was September.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's October. But who was it? Nibel or somebody came out and was like, "We're hearing it's November."
It's going to be interesting
because you look at the map. Originally in this game, they weren't going to have this launch at Starfield, and that just makes sense. Mm-hmm. 2 huge tentpole games for either console, both probably going to be phenomenal games. I can't say I haven't played them, but look to be great games. But like pedigree of who the studios are, you would think they're good games. If you're PlayStation and we already know Last of Us is September.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's coming in October. You've got Gotham Knights. You've got all these games that are. You got obviously
Forspoken in September too.
Yeah, exactly. You've got a lot coming out in October.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like, hey, 11/11 is right there, because you also have Call of Duty in October, right? So it's like, do you want to just give God of War, give Last of Us the whole month of September, and give the third parties and Forspoken October. And then November, because in December you're going to have Dead Space, Callisto Protocol. I mean, Dead Space is January, or Callisto Protocol is January, Dead Space is December.
Other way around. Callisto is December. Dead Space is January.
And probably Hogwarts Legacy, which is also probably it's coming out holiday, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to release it the same time as, unless you're going to pull an EA and release it the same time as Gotham Knights. Yeah. I'm just looking at huge games, and that week that was supposed to be Starfield is there, and your PlayStation, you're like, we can do this.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a really tricky drop, but we'll talk about that once we find out, because let's let some of our friends into the car. I hope with you, dude. I want
it so badly.
I know.
I want a t-shirt, 11/11. This is how you release a game, and have Shuhei on it. Like, that's the t-shirt.
And then
this is how you release a game. Shuhei's face with God of War in his hand, 11/11.
And then on the back, hashtag courts correct.
Yes.
All right, let's jump into the carpool. Let some of our friends in to ride with us. We have a bunch of questions. Every week we put out a question post over on Twitter at Carpool Gaming. Court and I usually retweet it as well. If you have any questions, let us know. Or hop into the Discord. It's in the show notes. Ask us questions there as well. And we will do our best to answer all of them for you. Coming from the first spot, actually coming from Instagram, I believe.
Yes.
Coming from friend of the show, Dapper Tux. What is your favorite PS Classics catalog game so far, and why is it Siphon Filter?
My game so far has been Ape Escape, because I found the controls in Siphon Filter to drive me absolutely bananas, and maybe that's just because I've become so used. I was also playing Ace Combat. Jesus, I can't believe how many games I played this week, and I've gotten so used to changing from inverted to every game that even when I was trying, even though it's a flying game, even though I'm pulling down to go up, it was driving me absolutely crazy, and I had to change it, and I just took off invert, and I just played it the other way. And I know that sounds crazy for a flying game, but it's just what I did. I found the controls in Siphon Filter to be very cumbersome and took away from the experience of playing it a game. But as I said before, I had enjoyed my time playing it. Did I finish it? No. All it made me do is want to be back in that world, and I want a new Siphon Filter game. Do I think I'm going to get one? No.
Yeah. I'm with you on Ape Escape, honestly. The controls in Siphon Filter also gave me a hard time getting into that game. And as I mentioned previously, I don't really have any nostalgia for that game. Never played it before. I am curious to go back to it, and I probably will, because I do want to see what all the hubbub is about and put another couple hours into it and see if it clicks. But yeah, I think it's Ape Escape is a great way to revisit those games. I love those games as a kid, and they're just so much fun.
It's just fun. It's just I've become so much of I just want to have fun playing video games.
Yep.
My game from the Xbox showcase was that Rick and Morty thing. So,
yep, I'm with you. That game was cool. Our next question coming from Discord, from the Muffin Mon, aka Mr. Kevin in the chat right now, aka Project X Talks. Kev asks, if you had to recommend,
got a lot of AKAs.
I know, he's a cool guy. If you had to recommend one game to someone off the new premium/extra catalog, what would you suggest? Well, I'm not blown away.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, because Kevin was also saying that he put in 17 hours into Ys 8, which he wouldn't have tried otherwise, and he's really enjoying it.
A game that probably PlayStation people have not played, and if you have the whatever, Artful Escape is one of my favorite games. I love it so much. A friend of mine, a host on Three Dads with Me, Wobble Plays, played it now and thinks it's unbelievably amazing. And I'm glad without PlayStation Plus, that game he would not have played it. And he now understands that when I played that on the Game Pass, I was like, oh my God, like moving forward, whatever they put out, I'm buying. And now people on PlayStation can play it. And I just love that game so much. It is not long. For you trophy hunters out there, go get a platinum. This is very easy. You just got to do this one jump thing that's a little difficult, but you can figure it out. But it's just so beautiful that I can't recommend it enough. But if you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, I don't know what you're doing, because that's one of my favorite games of all time. It is beautiful, and Director's Cut is on there, and it's just unbelievable, that game.
Yeah, I keep looking at Artful Escape, and Court, you just sold me on it. I'm going to download it after we finish the show. I'll play it for next week so we can talk about it.
It's so good.
For me, I made a bit of a list because I'm not just going to pick one, because there are some fantastic games here. Death Stranding, actually, the Director's Edition is what finally sold me on the game.
It looks great.
Yeah.
I'll give it that.
Yeah.
It looks great.
I wasn't a huge fan of the original, something about time and place, so if you've always been curious, it's a good opportunity to check it out and see if it is for you. Celeste is one of the all-time greats, fantastic platformer with a story based around mental health. Moonlighter is really cool if you want to like go to a dungeon, kill stuff, and then you have to come back and like open up your shop and you actually sell all of the things that you like, all the loot that you find. It's
hilarious.
It's a really fun gameplay loop. Moving Out is fantastic for anybody fans of Overcooked, but instead of you're cooking, you're moving people out of houses. It's a lot of fun. You're moving furniture, tossing stuff at each other. Lost Words is one of my favorite games of all time. It is a very heart-wrenching game, so be prepared, but it is also incredibly beautiful and incredibly cathartic, so check that out. And My Friend Pedro is just a good action indie where you're
it's a fun game.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So yeah, thanks, Kev. Let's move on to our next, coming from Twitter, from Lockleth at Lockleth Tweet. Will you be playing The Quarry? I still need to finish Until Dawn, but already excited to play something new / similar. Court, are you a Quarry person?
I want to play this. Ryan is... his review on it was phenomenal. You can check it out on our YouTube, and he loved that game. I love those story-driven narrative games, those horrors. That's a game I want to just play with my wife, and we just choose our adventure while we go through. Mm-hmm. That is definitely something I'm looking into picking up. I'm probably gonna wait for it. Believe it or not, because of the aspect of the horror and such. That is like a October game for me. Any of those horror games, it's like at this time of the year, it's sunny. I just want to like wear bright, colorful stuff and go to the beach
and have fun
and play games that I don't have to think about. And The Quarry, I got to think.
Yep.
So, but I want to play that game. Ryan's finished it twice already.
Yeah, I'm gonna have thoughts and feelings on that game soon. Because I'm waiting to get together with a bunch of my friends, like my childhood friends. We did that for Until Dawn, where we each took a character or two and we passed the controller.
I loved Until Dawn was so good.
So we're going to do that for The Quarry next weekend, actually. We're going to sit down and play through the entire thing in one sitting, passing the controller around for different from different characters. So I will be playing it. I am excited. The game looks great. So I'm excited to jump in. Our next question coming from Mike Backlog Knight, aka Blaze Knight 0923. Have you guys had a chance to jump into Shredder's Revenge? If not, are you looking forward to playing it? Who did you or will you play as? We hit this at the top of the show, but I just wanted to shout Mike out. We both played it. We're both loving it. And I was Leo.
I'm debating buying it on Switch. I'm not even kidding you, so that I can play it
on the go.
I've got to go to like a bunch of birthday parties this weekend with my daughter. And I'm just going to be sitting there. So I was like, I'm debating whether to download it so I can play it on Switch while I'm out this weekend.
I mean, that's a great call. If you had a Steam Deck, you could just do that there. But, not always.
I don't. I don't travel enough just right now.
I know.
If I was out this week for work, I think if I start going back on the road, I think a Steam Deck is definitely in my future because of the someone will figure out how to get PlayStation.
It's already on there. You can figure it out.
There you go. See?
There's a way around it.
It's not hard. And then you have Game Pass. It's like everything's right there.
Exactly. Our next question coming from Game Positive at Game Positive YT. Have you played this so far? So bad it's good PS1 hidden gem Biofreaks. If not, what is the weirdest game you loved on the PS1? I haven't played Biofreaks. I've never even heard of it. I've had a hard time with this question, Court, because I was trying to think back to like weird games from PS1, and I don't really remember too much of that generation.
There was a game I used to love on PS1. Besides, believe it or not, people now know it, but Lemmings was not Worms wasn't, it was actually like an indie,
Yes,
like
dude.
no one knew who it was. Everybody loves it
Yes.
now. But when it first came out on the PS1, it was like this thing that me and my buddy would play when we were, you know, smoking that stuff. And we wouldn't
Friendship.
stop playing. Yeah, we would play a lot of that game because it was just like perfect.
Yeah.
But there was also this Bruce Willis game that like it was a top-down shooter. It was almost like a Smash TV type thing, and you were Bruce Willis, and I can't remember, Apocalypse, I think was the name of it. It was another one of those weird, like, no one buys this game, but my buddy, the same guy that bought Worms, bought that. He was that guy that would go to the store and be like, what's the most popular game? What's the game no one is buying? And that's the game he would buy. I know Bruce Willis was the voice in it. I know it was a top-down. I know it was a lot like Smash TV, which is a game I love, but a lot of people love that game. That was another weird game that I played a ton of on the PlayStation 1.
Dude, you just gave me like visceral flashbacks. So you just gave me an answer. I used to be obsessed with Jackie Chan's Stuntmaster, which was a PS1 game that, like, again, like a bit of a random game, but I used to play that thing inside and out. I loved that game.
I've got to look this game up. Bruce Willis PS1 game. It was called Apocalypse, starring Bruce Willis on the PS1.
There you go.
It was a real thing. Look, it has got a 7 on IMDb. Mind you, eBay is like 4.75 reviews. Everybody loves this game because I'm telling you, it is like this game that no one played. And then when you play it, you're like, why didn't anybody play it? And he's the voice actor in it. Like, he's just terrible one-liners in it, but it's great.
There you go. Our next question coming from Golden Graham at GTM618. Please tell me you've tried IQ on the new PlayStation Plus service.
Nope.
I will, though. If you put it on my radar, I will check it out for next week and give you updated thoughts and feelings.
You know what? You know what he's probably telling you? This is a game that we can go out and get like platinum in like a matter of seconds.
Probably.
I guarantee it.
Probably.
It's got to be. It's Gamergram, the luckiest man in the world. Like, honestly, that guy wins everything.
Our next question is coming from famous Seamus, the most famous of all Seamuses himself. How do you feel about the 200 plus games that have left PlayStation Now when it combined with PlayStation Plus? There is a link to the full list, but somewhat of the big ones that he had noted. The Sly Cooper games, the PSP God of War games, the old Harvest Moon games, Heavenly Sword, Killzone Trilogy, and a lot more.
Well, it's funny. I think Kevin in the chat is probably extremely happy because he just finished playing on PS Now all the Sly games. I'm actually in shock, but I think it is more on the lines that maybe they're going to give them these are going to be glow up games, and they're going to come back and they'll be like, this gives them something to say, here's what's coming. Because I thought about this. It was like, when I first saw it, I was like, it's kind of shisty, and I think it's kind of underhanded. And I don't know why they did it. Mm-hmm. I think this gives them a news beat when they're like, Sly Cooper collection is coming to the PlayStation Plus collection. Like, hey, PlayStation Plus, you're getting Sly Cooper and you're getting the PS5 version of Spider-Man. Whatever. But people are going to love it. It's true. It's what's going to happen. And people are going to be like, thank you, Sony. Like, that's what's going to happen.
I really hope you're right that these games, possibly specifically, are ones that are because they might get some sort of up-res or some sort of cool features on them. If they took them away just to give them back to us later and be like, haha, you're welcome, then I think that's really, really...
But that sounds like something Sony would do.
I know. I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like PlayStation Plus seems to be this like in between Nintendo's online and Game Pass, because like Nintendo holds their stuff so close to the chest and like lets it go by like piecemealing it. I hope that this isn't what PlayStation is doing. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but I hope you're right that there is some there. I hope there is a reason why they're holding these games back.
Well, look what Xbox did with Bethesda. They didn't give us all the games at once. Mm-hmm. When the Bethesda games started going up on Game Pass, they gave you a bunch. They gave you a ton. But then they slowly gave the other ones. They were like, look, haha, here's a game for you. Yeah. Like, it is what it is. I get the trying to control the message and the media beat. And thank you, Sean, for the nice compliment. I get all that kind of stuff. But I have a funny feeling it's totally that. Like, there's no other reason why these, especially the Sly Cooper series, that the fact that it wasn't there, just one of my favorites. It was one of the first things I was going to play.
Me too.
Because Kevin just played them, and he was like raving on how great it was to go back and play them. I'm like, oh, I love the Sly Cooper game, so I was gonna go back and play them. And then the Thieves in Time, like, and then it's not even there. And I was just like,
I know.
Are you kidding me? That's like, to me, OG PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. I played a lot of platformers like the Spyros and the Sly Cooper games, because I played a ton of just sports games back in the day. That's all I played. But I played all the platformers because I was a Nintendo kid growing up. That's what you played, platformers.
Yep.
So I was a little disappointed they weren't there.
Yeah, likewise. I hope we get them back soon, and I hope there's a good reason for them holding them back that isn't just business. We have a couple questions left that I had to include, coming from the Goobla King at the Goobla King. Who from Carpool Gaming will you thank first, Court, when you win the Oscar for best performance for your PlayStation question tweet, because it was incredible. Round of applause.
I guess it's Matt, because I was yesterday when I was on the course, I was like, oh, should I record a PlayStation Drive thing here? And I was trying to figure out a way to incorporate. I almost did it with the swan that I saw, but I was gonna be like, stop looking at you, and then move my head, and the swan would be there. Instead, I just did the picture, and I was like, I think I missed a great opportunity, because in my head I get the joke, but you know what? Not everybody's seen every Adam Sandler movie, so they might not get the joke. But I was trying to think of something that I could see. You don't remember him saying, it's Billy Madison, stop looking at me, Swan. No? Oh, my God.
I don't think I've ever seen
Sean got it. I know Sean thought it was hilarious.
I had to Google it.
Yeah, wow. All right, then. Fair. See? That's...
Because I was
trying to think...
I was about to back you up and start going off on the swan in my tweet, in my repeat, because I hate birds. And I was going to be like, no, yeah, you get it, swan. And then I was like, people were like, oh, this is a good joke. I understood that reference. I'm like, hold on, I'm missing something here. But
okay, fair enough. And so this morning I was like, when you messaged me and you were like, you gonna do it? I'm like, I am. So I just got back from the gym, and I'm like sitting here in my office, and I'm like looking around, and I looked at the PS1, and I thought about PlayStation Plus, and I'm like, oh my God, that thing doesn't need to be plugged in anymore. I'm like, hold on a second, and then I had an idea.
It was a beautiful idea.
I would thank you first. I'd thank Sean for letting me be on the team, but
yeah, I guess. Whatever. And one last question coming from Kaneda Gallon at Xbox Kaneda.
Jesus.
Why is Court the way he is? Did he take too many pucks to the head in Pee Wee hockey? Listen, we love Court. He's wonderful. He's crushing it on all fronts. Regardless of how many pucks he has taken to the head, we adore him for how he is.
And they're more elbows than pucks, I'm going to be honest.
Puck elbows. That brings us to the end of the show, Court. But before we go, if people wanted to see more of you, my friend, where could they do so?
You can see me at Court Lalonde on Twitter, which will give you the links to all the other shows I do, because there's a couple. There's Xbox A, there's the Three Dads and a Console. But you can also catch me at our Carpool Gaming socials. I am the one on Instagram. I am the one on the TikTok. I am also the one majority on Twitter. But you can catch me everywhere.
Make sure you do hop over to patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Hop over to youtube.com/carpoolgaming. Leave us with all this fantastic stuff. As for me, you can find me over on Twitter at burnout_Matt. You can find me doing stuff every week at youtube.com/burnoutbrighter, where we talk about all things video games, mental health, and social justice. That brings us to the end of this wonderful car ride. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you on the next episode. Peace.
The PlayStation Drive is fueled by the Patreons who truly make us believe that anything is possible. And we'd like to thank the more than 90 patrons who support us each and every month at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. With a special thanks to our ultimate producers, Mostly Martinez, Dano, Emily O'Kelly, Dallas Ford, Trucker Soth, Jonathan Brown, who has a new album, In My Element, on Spotify and Apple Music, Drew Agnew, who is the host of the House of Mario podcast, Lee Navarro, who is the leader of the Phoenix Overdrive Extra Life team. The links are in the show notes. Please support these ultimate producers. Platinum producers, Brendan Myers, Becky Rubin Navarro, Skinny Matt, Robbie Bobby Miller. And then our gold members, Tom 4NKS, Slicely Carosa, Anna W., The Snack Network, Foolish Fuji, Mr. and Mrs. Nasty Boots, Tony Baker, Mac Time, RJ Kern, Jose Jimenez, Ashley Nichols, Argo, Marcus O'Neill, and Dallas Robbins. To support the PlayStation Drive and get some awesome perks, go to patreon.com/carpoolgaming and select the tier that works best for you.